Spoken Label.
He lurked in the shadows, waiting and hoping she wouldn't take a different route. This was her usual room. He knew that. He knew her.
Ghost of Me, the new book by Amanda Steele, can be found at Amazon, Kobo, Waterstones, and many, many other places. Hi guys, it's Andy N. Thanks today for downloading or streaming yet another episode of Spoken Label. As you may or may not be aware, Spoken Label was started in the beginning of 2006, and currently we have well over 150 sessions recorded since then. Although you can find it on various networks, the full archive is available for streaming and downloading at spokenlabel.bandcamp.com. It is a free download or free stream in there, but obviously, if you feel like chucking me a few pennies that way, it'd be eternally grateful to help me keep this podcast going and keep improving my equipment, etc. Enjoy. Speak to you soon. Bye bye. Spoken Label.
Hi guys, Andy N, Spoken Label, back in the house again. Okay, now I'm back on Skype again today, and I've got a gentleman that we've just been talking on the first take of this one, Chris, haven't we? That we reckon it was a few years ago that we originally met. Because I know the first time we got talking was through your Hannah. The first time I heard you actually was you and your wife were on Hannah Kate's radio program, and that was a few years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hannah's Bookshelf. That was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, because I know I've been on it. I've been up myself doing the full session myself, and I've been on their open mic thing a few times. Because a program I think is on hold at the moment, but it was always a great way of catching up with the writers and stuff like that. So I know I definitely first heard you both there. And then we met last year, didn't we? I think over at Gordon Zola's night at Cuckoo.
Yes, that was probably around May or June, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, that's almost a year ago already.
I know, it's terrifying. And I know you were just telling me on our first attempt at recording that you basically you had that one poem for your show, didn't you, which we were talking about today, and then you were hoping to expand it, weren't you?
Yeah, so I'm the kind of writer that starts a poem and then it festers for a couple of months and then it gets to a couple of hours before I'm due to perform it. It's still not finished. I'll finish it.
Oh.
Up at Paul Jenkins' night, waffling round the bottom, did it there. It seemed to go well, so yeah, took it to Cuckoo and a few other places.
Yeah. Now,
there's something in it. Can I do a show around just one poem? Can I expand it? We'll give it a go. Why not?
Best way. Now, obviously, Chris, people know who you are. Your name is Chris, but do you want to fully introduce yourself to everybody? Tell them who you are and where all your creativity came from, because you and your wife are very like me and my partner Amanda, in the fact that you've been involved in lots of projects over the years, haven't you?
Yeah, so my name is Chris Moriarty. I am a teacher as my day job. By night, I am a writer, performance poet. I go running every now and again when all the different projects we've got going on take me to breaking point and I can't go anymore. I've got running things and I go.
Oh yeah, completely.
Sometimes about not turning back, but I always do.
Oh yeah.
So me and my wife Kerry used to run Bunbury magazine, which was an online international arts and lit magazine. We did a series of open mic nights under different names. So I think primarily it was Just Right Speaks over in Bury. And then I'm moving on to this solo show of mine.
Yeah.
After having done open mics for a few years.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you mentioned about your Bird magazine and your open mic, so we'd better talk about them first, hadn't we? So, because obviously, I know the magazine, as you said already, is on hold at the moment, but it's still available for people to read, isn't it? And where did your magazine come from originally, an idea for the pair of you then?
So, we started it because as writers in our own right, we were submitting to magazines ourselves, and whether we were accepted or rejected at the time, because we were quite raw as writers, it was usually rejected, but we weren't getting feedback. All we were getting was, we like it, but it's not quite through our niche, which doesn't really help you develop as a writer.
Agreed completely then.
sod you, we're going to create our own niche, which is completely nicheless, but we're going to make sure we give that feedback. What works, what doesn't work, why we're accepting or rejecting, so we can help people who love writing develop the craft.
No, fair point. I agree with that completely, because Amanda's got a magazine at the moment called Printed Words, and her ethos basically, because I'm on the hired help, it's her magazine. I keep out of it, but yeah, she does exactly the same, where she always gives feedback. There's barely any magazines that do that, or that
No.
they give it for free anyway. Certainly, because I've come across some that will give you feedback, but they'll charge you £10 for it or something. And I thought,
Yeah, I think that's a bit morally ambiguous, really. I can understand why you need the money in to build the infrastructure for the magazine, but it creates a barrier to people learning how to do the thing that they want to do. Because some people might not have those £10.
yeah.
Particularly these days, everything that's going on. I'm not going to mention the big C word.
Yeah, well,
but
we'll avoid topics, yeah.
but why create a financial barrier when there's so many other barriers up there in the first place?
No, I agree with you
If people want to learn how to write, they should be able to do it from as many sources as possible.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely there. Now, you and Kerry also, obviously, and you have told me off mic that you're considering bringing this back maybe as well. You used to run an open mic night, didn't you, under various names in Bury?
Yes. So in its latter phases, it's probably its most successful phase. It was known as Just Right Speaks over in Bury. I believe at the time we could legally call ourselves Bury's premier poetry night, but that's largely because it was Bury's only poetry night.
Yeah.
But no, it was a blast. It really was. Some of the headliners we had over were phenomenal. We had Dominic Berry over a few times, Chris Jam, Steve Pottinger, Genevieve Walsh, Ross Ballinger, every talented person between here and Birmingham and sometimes further south coming along. Brogan as well.
Oh, blimey. Yeah.
Kerry like to credit ourselves with discovering Brogan. Because he did his very first poetry performance at an open mic night.
Oh, wow. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. No.
He came, the next month he came and did I believe his first headline slot. And then he's just exploded from there.
Yeah. I've seen Brogan. God, yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah, completely great stuff. But obviously, like now, obviously both those projects are on hold now. But I know currently you're working on a new show now, aren't you? Which we were talking about before. And that's obviously I've heard you do 2 bits on now. Actually, I've actually really enjoyed it. Now, do you want to tell people about the show then, and where your idea for Zeus Adults came from?
Yes, of course. So it came from when I was working in a library in a secondary school. I was going through the books one day, and as I was wanting to do when I was organising the books, I'd sometimes just sit and read one.
Just for research purposes, of course.
Yes, of course. You need to know your stock, don't you? And I had a copy of Green Eggs and Ham in my hand, and I just thought, I've not read that for years and years and years. And I sat and read it, and while it is a wonderful poem, Sam I Am is possibly the most irritating fictional character ever created. Next to Christopher Robin. If someone asks, do you like chocolate? And they go, no, you don't then list every other chocolate bar under the sun going, do you like Mars? Do you like Twix? Do you like Galaxy? No, get away from me. I'm going to pull your hair in a minute. So yeah, it came from that. I just wanted to rewrite how I imagined it would actually be. And from there it just started to snowball. I was looking at other Dr. Zeus poems, so The Cat in the Hat, Other Places You'll Go, and thinking, what can I do with those to sort of update them, really, make them entertaining for myself more than anything, and help other people enjoy it as well.
Yeah, no, great stuff. Now, obviously, you said, was it quite a long process writing a show for yourself then, was it?
I think that there were 2 parts that took quite a while. So I've got the 4 Dr. Zeus poems in there. They took a while to write because I found myself going down avenues that didn't work. So I tried a rewrite of the Zookeeper. If I Ran the Zoo. I tried a rewrite of If I Ran the Zoo about Brexit, but that didn't really go anywhere. I might come back to it. Boxing Stocks about social media, that's kind of on hold at the moment. So trying to just find those ones that I could work something with.
Yeah, of course.
The second one was they are intertwined with completely original poems of my own, which I feel thematically link.
Yeah, of course.
To rights. So it was a case of trying to go through my back catalogue and first off make a decision on which of my own poems I could stand to read anymore and not go, oh my god, the teenage angst.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, and figure out which ones fit in with what I wanted to do.
Yeah, completely. I get it completely. Did you find that this has impacted the way you write then? Because when you take on big projects like that, you always find it impacts the way you write, and it can influence what leads to next basically for you. So, I think you probably found that it's probably quite a major challenge for you to write this sort of project, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So a few years ago, I believe it was 2015, I was trying to find ways of getting over a mental health issue that I had. So I sat down on the 1st of January and I wrote a poem just to get something out. Did that on the 2nd of January and on the 3rd, 4th and all the way every day of the year. 365 poems.
Bloody hell.
Wow. Yeah, it did my head in towards the end.
Wow.
But that was writing for me to get something out.
Yeah.
For the show, I've found the paradigm shifted a little bit into trying to write for other people. Now, whether that's a corrupt motivation, because writing's personal in its own intrinsic nature, I found I was writing in a slightly different way. Yeah. I was writing more, okay, where's the beat here? How can I get from that beat to the next beat, to the next laugh, to the next laugh, to the next poignant moment, rather than just going, these are my words, I'm going to splash them on the page and then figure it out later.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and that's what I think you do is you're almost like you've stepped backwards in this one, haven't you? So you've had to do it a slightly different way, and I think as a writer, it's always good fun if you're trying to do something different. So yeah, respect you definitely on that. Now, obviously, with the C word being in place at the moment, and we're not going to mention that word, of course, but it's kind of impacted when the show was going to get performed, wasn't it? Because I know, and I know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go.
Yeah, don't worry. Now I know you did a Facebook live of it, didn't you, the other week? So how did that go for you? Was that a really interesting experience for you?
It was odd because I had nothing to feed off. There was no audience, so I did it on my laptop as I'm sitting here now, while Kerry hosted a watch party on her mobile phone. Now, because of that, all the comments were coming to the watch party, which I couldn't see, so I didn't even have the feedback from the audience. So I just went with what was largely entertaining for me. It's doing it live with actual people. So I did it at Wax and Beans in Bury, then Rufus in Prestwich, and at All Souls in Bolton. Each one was completely different because as it's gone on, I've added poems, I've changed the segues, I've tried to add a narrative in, and it's different every time. Doing it on Facebook, I just sort of presented the poems as they were. I gave a little bit of the usual open mic waffle that we all do, the build up to it, even though we're encouraged not to sometimes.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Is because me and Amanda, we've started going to sorting out fairly soon some open mic nights coming up on Zoom and stuff like that, and we've sat through a few at the moment last week or two. It's a vastly different experience. to actually doing it on Facebook Watch and even just in person like that. So, but anyway, said I encourage you to have a go while the country's in the situation it's in. But it's fascinating. But yeah, but like I said, what do you? Sorry, yes.
There's a trend of it going at the moment, obviously with everything that's going on. I know that Dave Vine is trying to organise a virtual poetry slam. And like you say, there's just so much going on, and it is so strange because you don't have that energy to feed off. But at the same time, we're in a position at the moment where we can slow down a little bit. We don't have the hectic commute back home. What needs doing around home? Clean, cook, get out, shop.
Yeah.
The usual. We can just. The silver lining is we can slow down a little bit and appreciate each other a bit more.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that. Yeah, definite. Society has changed that way at the moment, and I think it's made us. I don't know if you agree with this one, Chris, where it's made us having a lot more unselfish towards other people.
Definitely. I mean, not to make myself sound terrible for a moment, but when I am in the throes of just the daily grind of working and everything, I do tend to get a little bit insular. And I curse myself sometimes that I don't help people more, but what I've been trying to actively get out more and do things more, doing supply runs for people who can't get out and do it themselves. I was in town the other day, called in a few shops to pick things up for people, and every time I took my pack off to put things in, I felt like Daryl from The Walking Dead out scavenging.
Oh, Manda's a big fan of The Walking Dead. She would be laughing at that one. She would be. So I'll make sure I'll point that one out to when I upload this. Definitely. So yeah, definitely. Now, obviously, what plans do you have then for the show then? Obviously, it's very hard at the moment to plan in it with what's going on, really.
It is. So I've been applying to fringe festivals. So I've applied to Greater Manchester and Morecambe Fringes, both of whom accepted, and then plans obviously. So it's just waiting to hear exactly what's going to happen with that. Whether they become virtual festivals for this year, I'm still going ahead with it either way. And then just see where it goes. I'll apply for more if I can get down to Brighton, Leicester. Edinburgh's the big one, but Edinburgh's terrifying.
I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it.
It's doing Bunbury Magazine. I know how terrifying it is, and that's the one to think about, I think.
I think I always say when you go to Edinburgh is when it really gets serious. That one, so yeah. Respect you for that one, Chris, definitely.
I don't know if I've got self-belief at the moment, but it might come, it might not.
Well, people can't see me doing the fingers crossed here, right? So definitely good luck with it, mate. Now, if people want to find out more about you at the moment, before you read a few pieces out for us, where are they best going?
Facebook. So if people go to Christopher Moriarty, writer and editor on Facebook, that's my primary social media outlet at the moment. Although being a teacher, I've not had time really to go on and post anything for about a week or so. But the content will come. I'm just sharing things that tie into shows and tie into poems that I've written, and just trying to have a little bit of fun on there. It's not all posty, look at my thing, buy my thing. It's just trying to make people smile a little bit.
Yeah, and I can't blame you. I'm just at the moment I don't tend to really sell things, but I just tend to put videos up all the time. I do it the other way, or podcast to do and do it that way, because I encourage people to interact more. So that's me, definitely. So anyway, Chris, okay, what we're going to do then, I know you're going to do a few pieces for us in a moment, so I'll pause the recording now. So obviously everybody hang around. Chris is going to do a few poems for us, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does here. So so
I better go find my books.
Yeah, you go find your books, mate, and we'll get things paused, and I'll be right back to everybody in a minute. Hang around. See you all soon.
Spoken Language.
Hi guys, we're still here, me and Chris. He got a bit delayed there a few moments ago, but we'll come on to that. I guess it's one of these podcasts, this one, Chris, isn't it? But yeah. Yeah, I don't hit the record button on the first attempt properly, and I'll let you, if you want to, Chris, tell me what you just got undone, which delayed you about 10 minutes there, didn't it? So
Yeah, I was getting my poetry books, just about to sit back down to start being a good boy and reading some poetry for you all, and I gashed my leg open on the corner of the coffee table.
Like I said, one of those days today. So, well, I'm going to keep quiet now, guys, and straight over to Chris, and he's going to read out a couple of pieces for us from his show.
So this is the flagship poem from Zeus for Adults, the one where it all started. This is Green Eggs and Sam. Sam I am, Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Would you like them here or there? I would not like them here or there. I will pull your fucking hair. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you like them in a house? Would you like them with a mouse? I would not like them in a house, you ranted mangy pubic louse. I would not like them here or there. You're driving me into despair. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you like them in a box? Would you, could you, with a fox? Not in a box, not with a fox. Why don't, you won't, you just fuck off. I wouldn't let them in my house. I wouldn't feed them to a mouse. I neither eat them here nor there. Don't make me yank your fucking hair. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. And before you carry on, let me stop you right there, because honestly, I'm going spare. Not on a boat, not in the rain, no goats, no trains, and I'm not eating up a tree like a fucking owl. Just leave me be. I'll push you off the fucking boat and I'll make sure you do not float. And just, how do you find it morally acceptable to offer me food that is way beyond edible? The eggs have gone green, they're not fit for consumption. If I eat those, will give me convulsions. Twitching colon and a dilated anus, I'll be vomiting out on more faces than Janus. I hate you, Sam I am. I hate every hair on your stupid fucking body. I hate the way you exist almost entirely in primary colours. I hate you, Sam I am. 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 Sam shuffled his feet and looked down at the ground, started moving his mouth, but produced no sound. I sighed with relief and settled back in my seat as Sam walked away. Then he stopped for a beat. He walked back towards me and came close to my ear. Do you like green eggs and ham? He whispered. I have some right here. From there, it's a blank. The red mist descended, and I'm terribly sorry if you end up offended, but I'll be totally honest and completely upfront. I ended up killing the daft little cunt. Yeah, I murdered the egregious creep. I chopped him up and I froze his meat. I thaw bits of him out on special occasions, like a barbecue with a sweet chilli glazing. I'll make a risotto or rich bolognese, or sometimes just with chips and heaps of mayonnaise. But he did have a point, much to my disdain, with his incessant fucking culinary refrain. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be who I am, because my favourite meal is green eggs and Sam.
Fantastic. Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's absolute. I'm speechless. That's the best way to put it to you. Fantastic, mate, seriously. Okie dokie. Now, you've got two more for us, haven't you? So
I certainly do. Now, if it's okay, I was going to read a poem from the show that I haven't written.
Do it. Do it.
I included it because it's along the same vein of children's classic rewrite, and is genuinely one of the best poems I've ever read. It was written by my mum, Margaret Moriarty, who will probably kill me if she knows I'm doing this and I'm adding it into my show, but I don't, because it's too good. I'm sure I've told her I'm doing it somewhere along the way.
You're a brave man, mate. If my mum had done that, I wouldn't dare.
She knows I am. So if anyone's familiar with the nursery rhyme Who Killed Cock Robin, this is a rewrite of that called Who Killed John Lennon? Who killed John Lennon? I said Mark Chapman with my Smith & Wesson. I killed John Lennon. Who saw him die? Lucy in the sky from way up on high. She saw him die. Who caught his blood? I said New York on that cruel sidewalk. I caught his blood. Who'll make the shroud? We said the Beatles. With our thread and needles, we'll make the shroud. Who'll dig his grave? I said the walrus with my powerful tusks. I'll dig his grave. Who'll be the parson? Father Mackenzie, they shouted in a frenzy. He must be the parson. Who'll be the chief mourner? I said, hey Jude. He's my flesh and blood. I'll be the chief mourner. Who'll carry the coffin? I said the Eggman. I am your Eggman. I'll carry the coffin. Who'll take the ashes? I said the widow. He was truly my hero. I'll take the ashes. Who'll sing Imagine? Lady Madonna, our own prima donna. She'll sing Imagine. Who'll toll the bell? I said the fool, because I can pull. I'll toll the bell. All the free world sent their sobs up to heaven when they heard the bell toll for the legend John Lennon.
Yay. Good stuff. Good stuff. We'll move straight on. Obviously, no more comments about family members there, so we're good to great stuff, mate. Okay, what's the conclusion for today, then?
The conclusion is one of my own original pieces.
Cool.
Which was a long time in the writing. It's called Endings. The first time I met you happened upon the same shortcut home from school. You were rapidly muttering about the new Linux build or something. I pretended that the street I lived on was 4 down from the one I actually lived on, just so I could get away from you, leaving you to whisper sweet electronic nothings into the tops of your shoes. The first time we met properly, New Year's Eve, 3 years on, I had no idea you were that little nerd I shared a baffling walk home with. Now, you were the feared one at school, the one who apparently set his head on fire, bulletproof, and I was the overweight karate kid. You poured a dose of every spirit in the house into a pan, downed a pint and climbed onto the garage. I followed suit, not wanting to be outdone. We jumped. You landed with grace, I landed in a rose bush with my arse hanging out. We recognised each other's fearlessness and played Rochambeau with pool balls to a very painful stalemate. As kindred spirits, we went for a barefoot walk in the snow, bonding over our love of the song Daydream in Blue. Time passed. The first time I met your mother, she was stood at the top of the stairs in a dressing gown, showing almost too much thigh for my teenage brain to cope with, declaring that if I didn't like Highlander, I wasn't welcome in her home. I lied and was welcome. A year of friendship passed, expressed almost solely in terms of how much Donkey Kong is a cunt. At 15, I went to the doctors with you. He told you that your stomach cramps would keep you not masturbating enough. I was that night. You woke at 3 in the morning to find me stroking your crotch with the hand of your collectible Neo figurine. Time passed through college and uni. We became hosting a rave on a roundabout friends, throwing Maltesers at Moss friends, carrying a sofa and a telescope to the nearby field to watch the stars friends. The kind of friends that inferred life philosophies from the ways we ducked under strangers' washing lines. Thick and thin friends. Through the thick and through the thin, we never hugged. Not once. It just wasn't our thing. 3 years ago, you asked me to be your best man. There were jubilations. The big day came. I didn't show up. There were no recriminations, just... Last week, your sister called to tell me your mum had passed away. Everyone was at her deathbed telling stories, how she could have easily replaced Carol Vorderman on Countdown, how, whenever your friends needed somewhere to stay, she always took them in, me included. I would have told about the two of you play fighting in the living room, the maths scholar and the rugby player, until you were genuinely kicking the shit into each other. It was an uncomfortable watch, and a memory unshared. When I arrived at the wake, there were no recriminations, just a hug and a pint bought. You asked me if I was still on antidepressants. I told you I came off them after the suicide attempt. You told me that 2 days before the funeral, your wife delivered a stillbirth and that the buffet was open. We both picked up a chicken pakora and proposed a toast with the pastry to the memory of your mother. As I was leaving, we hugged again. I told you to call if you needed to talk about anything at all. You slipped a sausage roll into my pocket, and I am still waiting for the phone to ring.
Great stuff, that, Chris. I can really relate to that at the moment where I've got a friend that I'm in a very similar situation with, and it goes that way. But brilliant way that, because what's good there is it gives the three pieces you've done, it gives us a completely different sense of what you show completely there, it does. And it goes from the funniness to the embarrassment and then the sadness and all great stuff, mate. So just to clarify again before we conclude, if people want to find out more about you, where are the best going again?
Okay, so I have a Facebook page which is Christopher Moriarty, writer and editor. I am working on getting more presence on social media, but there's too much to catch up with sometimes.
Oh, God, yeah.
Between work and the home admin and everything else, engaging
sleep
with all the different social media. What, sleep? I've forgotten what that is.
No, never heard of it. I think it's a luxury. Like the older generation have got, we don't have it. So yeah, but I can agree with you, mate. There. So, but thank you again today, Chris. Hang around. I need a quick word you off mic. But this is Andy N. Thank you to Chris again, and it's been great fun today. See you all soon. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Spoken Label. Thanks again for listening to another session of Spoken Label. Our full archive can be found over on Bandcamp at Spoken Label. That's one word. Spoken Label. Full stop. Bandcamp.com. And there is over 150 sessions there. So I'm sure that if you've enjoyed this session, there'll be something else there you can enjoy as well. Take care. Bye bye. Spoken Label.